Give you the number one item that you need as a picker. Hey everybody, it's Mike, the Golden State Picker. Can you tell I'm excited? Every day is exciting for me. Every day that I can get out and pick, do garage sales, all that kind of stuff is great. And today's a special day because we're not going to show you anything we found, anything we sold. No, we're going to talk about how I work out in the field, how I work the store kind of thing. My philosophy of doing the inside of the store and trying to increase my odds of finding the good stuff. That's what we're going to talk about. So, a couple of things we're going to talk about. First, to clean up is I want to let everybody know who is new to the channel who I am. I am out of California, specifically the San Francisco Bay Area, a very lucrative and wealthy area. So I want to give you that disclaimer up front because I know many of you are from rural areas and other places across this country. I have been to many of them. I have been to see Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker. I see where Kevin lives. And Kevin lives in a beautiful area of Virginia. I will tell you that Kevin is a tremendous picker, a tremendous picker. I will give Kevin the thumbs up 10 times. He's just that great. He's just that good. I missed him this last time because we were on the opposite side of the state, but I will get back to Kevin because Kevin is the kind of guy that I think of a lot of pickers out there. Down to earth, just a great family, great guy. So anyhow, Commonwealth Picker, if you haven't watched his channel, head to his channel. So I'm well aware of where most people are, and that's my most difficult thing is how do I convey to people who are in these areas how to do better. That's a big key. So anyhow, I've had a business for 30 years prior to this, and I was burned out. And basically, when you do something for 30 years, it's tough. Take a look. If you've been doing something for 30 or 20 years, and you go, I got another 10. Okay, well, I will tell you, I had 25 years of fantastic fun doing my business. The last 5 were difficult. It became a job. And when something becomes a job, it's time to say bye. That's for me, it's bye. It was just no fun. The stress was just incredible. It's a retail store. And I will tell you that I am the most lucky person in the world because I got out right before COVID. And COVID would have probably crushed me. I don't know, it would have, I'm a pretty optimistic person, but that probably would have really put some damper on me, having to go through that. So all you who have gone through that and are searching and trying to figure something else out, something new, hopefully I can help you to a little bit here, give you a little bit of advice, that kind of thing throughout the channel. Channel is not just about what I find. I find stuff all the time. There's pickers out there that always have fine stuff. Show you on the channel all the time. I do that. I do show you that. Try to pick out certain things, nothing expensive, maybe something expensive. I don't show half the stuff I find, half the stuff I sell. Otherwise it would be, you think I'm long now? It'd be an hour. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, I want to give you a couple of things here that I think are helpful. And I am not a big reader, okay, but I do like to, since I've gotten into the books, I've been finding some interesting stuff that's going on, and I've been, pulling books, and I've got a couple that I've always had that are really good, and I want to show you them because I think that if you read these books, because they're easy, what I call easy readers, they're not difficult to read, they're kind of like you can go to them and go back and forth. But I want to show you these right off the bat. So the first one is Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. He's got a set. There's another one, and there's a 4-hour workday or week, I can't remember. But this one here, the Tools of Titans, what this is he's taken like 40 stories of titans of industry, and you'll know some of the names when you look through them. And he's asked them what I consider to be the best questions. How does your day evolve? What do you do? What's your philosophy? How did you make it work? What's your thinking? And in here, you will glean some very good knowledge about how to maybe set your day up. and how to think about things. Very cool book. I'll put links down below so you can kind of, if you want to, click it and buy one off of Amazon. You can get them used pretty cheap. But this is like, I also have the Bible. So I have the Bible too. So don't get me wrong when I say this is almost like the Bible for me of just a little bit of knowledge. I shouldn't do that probably. But anyhow, a lot of good stuff in here. I took this on my last trip to go see my grandkids, and I read it every night. I read back. I didn't read it front to cover. I flipped through it. I highlight, and then I do that. The other one. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Amazing book. Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. And over time, over the past year, these two books have helped me develop my process, what I call my process, and how I have evolved into going from zero to last year gross sales of $174,000 on eBay. This year, I'm hoping to do over $200,000 on eBay and $65,000 on Amazon. So these two books and what I've developed over time have helped me get to where I am today. Now, I realize again that you're out in the rural areas and this might not be, I don't know if it's doable in certain areas. I never say it's not, because there is ways to do it. So I want to kind of give you the general overview of what I do. Now remember, this is me, and you're only going to take a piece here and take a piece there, that kind of thing, all right? So just take tidbits. I'm going to give you the number one item that you need as a picker. First, you need a mindset. And the mindset is when somebody's asked you if you're doing this full time, or if you're even doing it part time in like a hard part time, doing a little bit more part time than whatever. And somebody asks you what you do, you tell them, I have a reselling business. You're not a reseller. You have a reselling business. Mindset here. Confidence. That's what we're going to look for. But you need this. You need a business card. Now, this quick story here. I told my son-in-law, I said, Adam, did you get your business card? He's out now in rural North Carolina. And Adam said, no, not yet. So while I was in North Carolina, what did I buy him? The exact card, but just his name and some changes for him. $9.99 free shipping. I don't know if I got a 20% off, but there was something out there. So get 500 of them. And I had them mailed to him. This here will pay you, I can't tell you how many times over, but it will. So you need a business card, and that will be, we'll talk about that in the video, obviously. And then you need your 2 feet. 2 feet. If you don't move, if you do not get out, and you do not do things, you will be behind the curve. So I try to tell people I am up early in the morning. I am up, as you get older, it happens. I'm up at 6 o'clock, that's not too early, but it's early. Religiously, I'm up at 6 o'clock. I love between 6 and 10. That is the most beautiful part of the day. It's really, really amazing. I have my breakfast on my patio, and then I do stuff where I get my stuff ready for to ship out, that kind of stuff. And by 8 o'clock, I'm usually ready to go out the door and get my day started. So how does one do what I do? It took me a while when I was doing ride sharing, because if you don't know me, I did ride sharing after that. And how I stumbled into this was watching videos on YouTube just like you do. I watched Reezy Resales, I watched Rally Roots, Craigslist Hunter, Cincinnati Picker, Lonnie at the Shed. Oh, you name them, I watched them. You've probably all watched them too. And I said to myself, whoa, this is kind of interesting, You see how you learn, you go, okay, this is pretty cool. So I put together two things in my head. I said, hey, I'm ride sharing. I'm doing Uber because I'm like, I'm looking for something to do. And I realized I was going by all these thrift stores. So that's when I stopped and started thrifting. And then I'd go into the store. And for some reason, I always started in the glass row. I have no idea why. Me, I had no clue. I had a lot of other ideas, but I always was in the glass row looking around. Oh, look at this thing. This has got a label on it. It's got to be good, you know, Lowenbrow, whatever, right? And I was really not defeated, but I'd find a couple items here and there. And my wife was watching me bring these in, and she's going, what is going on here? And then she reminded me. She said, you know something? I knew something was cooking, and I know that you're going to start another business. Something's going to happen because it's just you. It's just you. She knew it, right? And look at where we're at now, right? It's pretty funny. So I was bringing in some stuff, and I was bringing in some pretty odd and weird stuff, and I was making some sales on eBay. At that time, I had an account that was, you know, it had only like 120 feedback or whatever, but I was still able to sell stuff, and I had to learn along the way. But I wasn't efficient. I was terribly inefficient. I was like, what's going on here? Why am I, you know, I'm scattered at points. Now, you know, I don't like to be scattered, but I was excited because, hey, there's potential here. How do I get it out in a bigger way? That was my struggle, was how do I figure that out? So another big thing that happened was COVID. COVID happened to me. And COVID, I remember the day vividly. I was inside Savers. It was 1:30. And they announced they were shutting the country down, basically. Lights were flickering, you gotta leave, blah, blah, pay up, go. I sat outside in my car, and I said what most people would say, now what? What's gonna happen here? And I thought to myself, well, I'm okay. I mean, I'll make through this, you know, anyhow. I don't need to work 24/7 kind of thing. So the wheels start spinning. How can I develop something? Because now I don't know what's going on. So I started hitting Nextdoor, started hitting Facebook Marketplace. You know, people were starting to clear out their house, and I was getting stuff for free. And if you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll see I got a lot of stuff for free and made money. I wasn't making the money I was making today, but that's when I started to develop, hey, what can I do here to make this whole thing better? So I started to learn about Amazon books more. I started watching YouTube videos about reselling, trying to figure out, okay, where do I want to be when this breaks open? And it finally broke open in that July, and I was ready to go. So I had basically now started to form the basis of what I'm doing now. And the key things here was I started to learn that I need to know the stores. I need to know how the stores worked, who worked in the stores, all of that kind of stuff. I figured that was going to give me a slight edge. And anytime you can get a slight edge, if you talk about anything in business, in the sports world, anything, they are talking 1%, 2%, you know, small percentages that just make the difference, right? It's like now in baseball, you know, batter comes up, they throw a chart up, and the guy hits 60 balls here, 10 here, the defense shifts, right? So the defense shifts here. The defense is saying, this guy's going to hit it in this area. I got to get him out, right? So, you know, it's the same kind of thing. They're trying to increase their odds of getting him out. So I'm trying to increase my odds of finding a fantastic item. That's the key here. So I started to realize, you know, I already knew the people in the store, so that was a good thing. I'm very chatty. You know that, right? And I was very chatty, and I knew all these people because I talked to them, and that's something you should do, is get to know every single person in the store that you can. You're not going to know them all. Get to know the managers, get to know the assistant manager, get to know the front end, get to know the back end. And you're not trying to have them sneak something to you. That doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way. What you're trying to do is to get some knowledge as to what's going on in the store. Hey, is everybody here today, or did somebody call in sick? You know, how much stuff's coming out kind of in your head. You're trying to figure all this stuff out. Okay, did they get a big record collection? Did they get a big electronics collection, video game collection? You want to know these things. You kind of want to know so that, hey, you've got an odd chance of getting a shot at them, that kind of thing. So that's why you want to know the employees. You also want to know what they do within the store, who does what, that kind of thing. You know, this person's clothing, you know, this person's carts, you know, this person is front end bringing it in, you know, this person's the manager. You just want to know what they do. But you also want to know is their schedule. You want to know that at 11 o'clock, they all go on lunch in the back room. So from 11 to 11:30, nothing's coming out that back door. I know that. So from 11 to 11:30, because they open at 11, that's when I go in and open and get in the store. And the first thing I do is I grab a shopping cart. Boom. I grab that shopping cart. Why? I've seen so many pickers that don't take a shopping cart. Take a shopping cart. One picker the other day, it was funny that he said this to me. He goes, Mike, you sure are confident. And I go, well, what are you talking about, Roger? And Roger goes, you got a shopping cart. See? I'm confident I'm going to fill that shopping cart up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put stuff in that shopping cart. You bet I'm going to put stuff in that. It's rare I don't have something in there. It might go back on the shelf, but I'm going to put it in there. Because the reason you do that is if you have that shopping cart and that cart, if you don't have that shopping cart, and let's say you find 15 bobbleheads you want, you can't carry all 15, and they're all pretty good priced, they're all pretty good sellers, right? And you have to go up to the front to grab your cart. Somebody else like me, I wouldn't do that, would I? No, I wouldn't do that. But if I didn't see him, let's say I didn't see him there, I would grab him. But let's say I saw him do that and then walk up. That's not cool. I would say, hey, let me hold these for you. That's me. But what I'm saying is, if I didn't see him do that, then that could happen. And then you're out of luck, right? Then you're out of luck. So be careful. Always take a shopping cart. I've got one picker that never takes it, and I don't understand why, but guess what he does? He uses mine. Sometimes he's in the store and he's picking things and he's putting them in, and it's great fun. But he's using mine. I'm like, I keep telling him, why don't you get your own cart? And he just, no, I go, I'll just use yours, Mike. I'll just use yours. All right, so I know that's what's going on. So I head off to the what I know. That's another thing you got to do. Start out, if you're a new picker, only do what you know at first when you enter the store. If you know electronics, do electronics. You want to hit that up and clear that out of the way. So what I do is I hit electronics. And I have a route. If you've seen, I could probably have like one of those things. This is exactly how I do it. You know, I run to there. I don't run, but I get to there. I slide along the wall for the big electronics. I slide along the wall for the games. I come back. I loop through the books. Then I loop through the kitchen. Then I look through the wall. Then I come back through the home office. Then I come back through the collectibles. You see my mind, how it's working. I've got a pattern. I've got a process that I'm working with. All knowing that between 11 and 11:30, nothing's coming out, so I don't have to worry about the back. I don't have to worry about anything coming out and I'm going to miss. Nope. So then the big key here, one of the big keys and one of the big tips is reverse your order. You now have made this kind of hectic kind of run. Reverse your order and go backwards, same way. And why? Because you're going to slow your eyes down this time. Because you're probably pretty excited or going too fast. So you slow your eyes down and you just kind of do the reverse order of what you just did, and you get a different angle and look at the shelving. Big key. You'll be amazed at how much stuff you find that you have missed. Now I'm tall, 6'1". I am tall. I'm up here looking at the shelves and I have a really hard time looking down on the bottom. So that's why I mean slow your eyes down. Now what I have to do on that back, and I try to slow them down on the forward side as much as I can. But on the second return visit, I'm looking and I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything down below, because that's usually where I'm going to miss something. This is not the grocery store where they put the good stuff down below. It's all over the place. So you've got to really slow your eyes down and pan the store a lot. Now, after that, you have to settle down, and this is it. You put your stuff in the cart. Don't look anything up until you're completely done and satisfied that you've looked the store over. Do not look anything up yet. That's when you start. If you pick up the first item, start looking at it, I'm going to come right behind you and I'm going to probably zip right by you and probably grab something that you're going to miss. So don't do it. Just put it in. This is how I work every store. Not to this fanatic. I mean, I would say Savers is probably the most fanatic way I kind of work. The other ones are more casual. They're not as busy. Savers is a very, very busy store. If you've seen some of the line shots that I've shown you, crazy, right? That's on Senior Tuesday. Senior Tuesday goes out to the back wall. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink real quick. All right, now, once you're done with that, hopefully it's not quite 11:30, but it's probably going to be pretty close. So you're going to keep an eye out for the carts. That's me. I'm going to keep an eye out for stuff that's going to come out, because I know that they're going to start coming out pretty soon. And I'm going to tell you one thing to show you why I want to watch for that cart. The other day, if you watch my MIDI little MIDI find, which was the electronics instruments. I came through the store. I went right to my first spot, right down on the bottom, and they were on the bottom. I nailed 3 pieces of those MIDI right into my cart. Kept going, but my mind's spinning. Okay, knowing that, hey, this was not there yesterday. It was not there yesterday late, and I'm going to be alerted here. I'm going to watch. I'm going to see if those carts are going to bring out any more. So that's in my head. The knowledge that we do. This is the process, right? So you're thinking. So I said, I'm going to camp back out here and see if they bring anything out. Well, lo and behold, within the first half hour, they brought out like 5 more pieces of the MIDI. I got like 8. So that was knowing how that store works and how that stuff was put down there probably this morning, the morning I'm in there, that more's coming out. The odds are, right? And I was correct. I was correct. So you're trying to just give yourself that little bit of an odd advantage. That's it. And that's how you make it. So I put all that stuff in. I didn't even look up this stuff down here. I knew there was value. It didn't have to, so I wasn't worried about that. I went back to there. Once that's done, once I start to see the carts come out, usually there's like 2 girls. If the 2 girls come out and I've looked at the carts, there's no need to watch the back door. I got to do something else. So that's where I start to either look this stuff up just for kicks or giggles. I really didn't need to. Or I'm going to start to network. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to network with other pickers. Yes, there are other pickers in the store. There's a lot of them. And I would say that if I'm in Savers and it's 12 o'clock on a Tuesday, there are probably 8 or 10. And I know all 8 or 10, and they know me. They know what I look for, and I know what they look for. So I have a general idea what they like. They have a general idea what I like. Sometimes we cross over, sometimes we don't. But this is where I guess the business card comes into it, because over time you start handing your business card out to other pickers. Don't be afraid to do that. Hand them out. Give them to pickers. Because those pickers, and get your phone number, get theirs and text back and forth. Show them what you found. Ask them, have they found anything? They will tell you, yeah, hey, look at this thing I found. And you give them a big thumbs up. You go, man, that's cool. That's cool. Pretty soon you build this camaraderie of 8 or 10 pickers. And they will help you. You will help them. And that's another part of this process, is the networking that you're going to try to develop. And I know you're going to see out in the rural area, I don't have that many picker friends. Well, over time, you'll develop it. Just carry the cards with you and hand it out. Now, if you're at a little thrift store in your area, hand them your business card. Give them the card. My little honey hole thrift store, you hear me talk about that all the time. Mine is taped to the cash register. They find anything, they don't have to dig the card out. They look right there. They say, Mike's probably our guy to go to get rid of this. Let's take a look and see what Mike says. That's the networking side. The same thing with pickers. You want to, it's like, know your enemy. They're not my enemy. They're my friends. They're my friends. And I'm here to help them, and they're here to help me. I cannot get every item that is out there. I cannot. It's impossible. Sometimes they find an absolutely fabulous thing. You go, man, I wish I had that. But no, you know what? 10 minutes later, you're down the road doing your own thing, and you're cheering them on because, hey, they're going to make a living too. They got to do things. So don't fear that. Enjoy that, because sometimes they're going to come up to you and go, oh, wow, that's really cool. I can tell you many times where I've gotten some stuff and felt, kind of bad because I was there, 5 minutes before and it's all in my cart, and, but there's been times where I've walked in and they've been ahead of me. So use this as a tool throughout your day. If you're if you've got some kind of process or route that like I'm doing, I want to know. I've got about 2 or 3 pickers that will tell me what's going on in other stores throughout the day. And what I mean by that is, hey, don't bother. He knows that nothing's coming out today at Goodwill over here. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to go to that Goodwill. But I know there's going to be some people out there that say, hey, well, maybe he's lying to you. No, he's not. I'll tell you why. Because the minute he does that within the circle, people go, we can't trust him. It doesn't work that way. Because I've given him information, he gives me information. So I can trust him that store's dead. So what I might do is I might work my route back to that store 4 or 5 hours later. But right now I am not going that way. I'm going another way. So that one's off my chart. Saves me probably a half hour of time throughout the day. So time equals money, period. The more time you can put into something, the more chance you're going to find some items. So you've got to have this routine that works in many different directions. You can change it at any time. So once I've done that, I start to hit maybe the front end of the store where the bigger stuff's coming out. And I say, hey, anything coming in today or out today? And you might say, hey, we're just pricing this amplifier. There you go. Whoa, look at that. Well, we're pricing this vacuum. We're pricing whatever. They're not going to price the smalls. The smalls are going to the back, but the front end has the bigs. I cannot tell you, one big tip here is, if you want to start to make some money, you got to start looking at the bigs, the biggies, the big amplifiers, the big stuff like that. I know so many people are, oh, I don't want to touch those. I can't test them on their, all that stuff. You're scared of them. You can't ship them. You don't know how to ship them. I have a video on how to ship turntables in amplifiers. Maybe I'll put that up here. I'll try to remember. Can't be afraid. Now, early on, yes, be a little cautious. Build up a little bit of a bank account and that kind of thing. And, then dabble into some of the bigger items. Find a real solid big item that you can sell and go from there. So once I've done that, I've checked out the front and I've said, hey, everything's going. I kind of just hang out maybe for a half hour, 45 minutes, waiting to see what other carts are kind of coming out, if anything else is coming out. And over time, you will develop this sixth sense that it's time to leave. The only store that I will really hang around for maybe an hour and a half would be Savers. Most of the other stores, I don't, unless there's another picker there and we're chit-chatting about something. It's late in the day and we're done and we're whatever. But most of the time, I don't spend more than 15, 20 minutes in a store. Pretty much that's it. I'm gone. So after that, and when I look up at the front area, I kind of take maybe a gander outside. I want to kind of look. They have the bins that come in. Savers is one of the few stores that the bins come in the front, not out the back. So I can take a look and see what's going on there. Is there anything coming in now? Keep an eye out that. So when you walk into the store, you go by the bins. When you leave the store, you go by the bins. You're just trying to give yourself that little bit of an advantage of trying to know what's coming in, watching people drop stuff off in their car, that kind of thing. When we were under COVID restriction, we had to line up an hour before. I had to be there an hour before to get number one, to be number one. Otherwise, there were 30 pickers behind me, and I would get cleaned out pretty quickly because I'd have to wait, and it was really, really slow. They were actually, you had to wait even to get in the store after they hit a certain amount. But anyhow, what happened was I started to realize the bins were there. I'm going to go look, because we'd save each other's spots. I'd go up and look at the bins, come back to the line, some more stuff come. I go look at the bins. I'd watch the trucks come in, and I started seeing these trucks that come in from estate sales and stuff like that. And that's what they say, they clear out estate sales. So I went over there, and what did I hand him? A business card. I handed this one guy, and I said, hey, if you ever want to sell something or you have something, let me know. He goes, hey, I got 16 storage lockers full of stuff. And I told him what I liked. He goes, I got some of that. We can come take a look. So that week I went and looked, and I found probably $1,500, $2,000 worth of stuff. And I go back to him every so often, and maybe I'll find a few things here and there. Networking. These are all the little tricks. They're not secrets, but they're, just observations that you got to go through. All right. So after that store's all done and I've looked it over and done all my stuff, I just head on and do my route. And I do the same thing at every store, not to the degree that I do at Savers maybe, but I have this knowledge. I know who's working. I know who the pickers are. This is the key. Now, once you've left your main area and you go up to a store and you walk in and there's Joe the picker, okay, and he's in there back by the bins, you know that Joe the picker has probably cleaned the store out or has gone through the store. So the odds of you finding something have now dropped dramatically. You might, but it's dropped. And if you know he's a general picker, then it's really dropped. But that's okay. You go back there, you talk to him and say, hey, what'd you find, Joe? And then Joe says, yeah, I got this, I got that. And you go, okay, that's cool. What you're going to do is you're going to try and jump in front of Joe. What I mean is you're going to look this store over, maybe in the electronics, something quickly. And you're going to browse through really fast. But he's probably doing something like you. He's going to the next store. So what you want to do is jump over him. And you want to jump in front. So that when he comes into the next store, you're there. Not him. You know, if you just sit there and start looking at everything and he's almost ready to check out, no, boom, I'm down the road, because I know what they do. I see them in every store. I see it everywhere. So I'm trying to, again, get an increased odds of finding stuff. Occasionally, when I walk into a store, I know that there's a picker in there that doesn't care about electronics, doesn't care about golf clubs or whatever. So I know I got at least hit those two sections. But if he's a toy guy and he's already done, there's really no reason for me to look at the toys in a right off the bat. I don't look at it. I might go buy them as a cursory. Wouldn't you love to find something and you go, hey, look at, oh, Joe, look, you missed, you know, boom, boom. All in jest, all in good fun, all in good fun. It's amazing fun. It is. It's amazing fun that the people that I meet and the people that I've developed relationships with that have helped me get to the point where I am today. It's really, really, really a lot of fun. Now, I'm going to give you a couple tips for the newbies. People who are fairly new in reselling. I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't chase the money. Doesn't work that way. If you chase the money, you get disappointed a lot of times. Build up a process that allows you to make money. And then it will be better that way for you. If you say to yourself, I got to do $100 a day every day, and you don't meet that, that's, again, a defeatist attitude in a way. It's like, well, I only did $50 today, so tomorrow I got to do $150. And then I only did $100, now I got to do $2. And that's not the way to do it. If you set yourself up for positivity and so forth, you will eventually make the money. That's the bottom line there. The other tip I can give you is, you're going to ask, well, how do I do this? How do I find things? All I can tell you is that you've got to use this up here. This is what you have to use. You have knowledge. If you're 50 years old, you have 30 years, let's say from 20 to 50, you have 30 years of knowledge that you've built up of things. You've seen these things. You just got to translate it into what is good and what isn't good. So keep your eyes out for stuff. You can tell quality. One thing I can tell you people is look for quality. When you see quality, you know it. When you touch it, you know it. If you're in clothing and you know clothing really well, when you see a really fine piece of clothing, you just know it. When I look at electronics and I look at an amplifier, I know it. I know it. I don't have to, think about it. I just grab it. This is knowledge. So as a newbie, you've got to touch things, feel things, look things up. One of the best tips you can get is never look anything up from the best match or best whatever it is. It says the best match, I think, on eBay. Look it up at the highest price. Why start at the bottom? Why start at the middle? No. I hit sold completed on the app, highest price. Because I want to know if I've got the highest priced item, period. I want to know, do I have it or do I not? It's okay, scroll down. Do I have the middle price? Do I have anything? You just kind of learn it. So you're going to have to pick up things, look things up, search things. That's how you're going to learn. The only way you can do it is get out there. First part of the video, what did I say you needed? You needed a business card and 2 feet. 2 feet. It's the only way you're going to do it. The only way you're going to do it. I'll give you an example on looking things up. Today I was at not a flea market. I always say flea market when I mean garage sale. Boom. I was at a garage sale. It was the last one I was looking at the day, so I spent a little extra time at it. She had a whole table, probably had 40 Starbucks coffee mugs. My worst nightmare, Starbucks coffee mugs, because I just don't know them. So I said, there's a better way to do this, Mike. Use your brain. So I said, let's do a search Starbucks coffee mug, highest price sold. There we go. I'm not gonna look all 40 of these up. Ain't happening. So now I got them all there in front of me. I did the highest price and I start scrolling and I start looking at the mugs. Okay. No. So I was like at 400, because some go $400, $300, right? I was like, yeah, nothing. But I was realizing that the ones that are selling for the top money are those city ones that say Puerto Rico, Tokyo, all of the cities, right? She didn't have any of those. So I knew that pretty much that these are just standardized Starbucks mugs that don't interest me. It's just not a category. What interests me is there one there with 200, 300, or 400? So now that I have this knowledge, because I've looked at the app and I've seen that this is the type of Starbucks mug. So every time I see a city one and a rare city one, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to put it in my cart. I'm going to grab it. So that's where I'm going to concentrate my effort. It seems like the biggest ones are those. So why work on this fluff over here? Because it slows me down. I got to look this one up. It says red coffee mug with leaves. I have no idea. I don't know how to do that. But I know I can do city mugs, Starbucks, sold, completed, highest price. Okay? So that's how you work it. That's how you do it. You got to think like that. So when you have downtime inside stores, that's what you're doing. As a new person, you're looking at things, trying to figure out this is no good, because you want to just blow by it later on. You don't want to have to even worry about that. I know that's no good. I'm out of here. You know, efficiency within the store, efficiency at a garage sale, at a flea market. All of that plays into how you're going to increase your sales and make more money. Whew, wow. Woo. All right, hey, thank you. I gave you as much as I could so far. I'm going to do more. I hope this one inspires you to go out and figure out how to do it. And if you're in those rural areas, remember, I'm out there fighting for you, trying to figure it out for you, trying to help you out in every way I can to give you some ideas, okay? My son-in-law is in a rural area, so I understand. So he's working it hard. He's doing really good. He's excited. You know, when I was back there, I bumped him up a little bit. I said, hey, we got to get out and we got to do this. That weekend, he went out and hit a 30-home garage sale and made $1,250 worth of, I shouldn't say made, he found $1,250 worth of stuff. He's already sold a ton. Today, he texted me and said, hey, you having any luck at the garage sales? I said, I didn't find a whole lot. I found a few things. But he's pumped up because then he showed me what he got. He's excited. That's what I want to see. I want to see people excited. Tough times out there, man. It's tough times right now. Inflation, gas prices, rents, everything are nuts. You need that edge. You need something to help you out. I'm here to help. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate every one of you. Leave comments below. I will try to answer every one of them for you if I can, okay? I want it to be really personal, one-on-one. We're going to make it work. I'm still going to show you all the stuff I find, because you know what? That helps you with the knowledge, right? Watching all these other pickers, watch them all. Watch every picker you can, because they're going to find you stuff and show you how to make money everywhere. Don't just watch mine, watch them all. Watch them all. All right. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.